Hi, welcome to my little cooking show because I don't have a fucking name for this thing right now. Today I'm going to be making my mom's oatmeal cookies. Some of you might actually recognize this recipe. It's a very standard kind of recipe. For starters, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. What you're going to need for this recipe is 1 egg, some vanilla. I personally use bourbon vanilla. I think it just adds better flavor. You're going to need oats, baking soda, salt, brown sugar. I use dark brown sugar, but you can use light or medium. You're going to need regular sugar. I can't lift the thing, so you're going to need flour, and you're going to need shortening. Today I'm using butter flavored shortening, just because it adds a touch of saltiness to it. My mom usually mixes raisins in with these. I don't like raisins, so I'm not using raisins today. I usually mix in nuts, but my roommates don't like nuts in the cookies, so no nuts today. To start with, you're going to add your egg. I have chickens, so all my eggs are fresh. You're going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. Now, this recipe doesn't call for packed brown sugar, so I wouldn't worry about melding it down into the cup. Though, admittedly, I will probably actually pack this down just because 98% of the time that's what they want you to do is do packed brown sugar. I'm just going to use a spoon to kind of just push this down in the cup and get it nice and packed in. Do I have a cup of this? No, I do not. Those good old-fashioned values. I'm actually going to use the salt shaker to press this down just because it works a little better. Weight-wise, this is probably going to actually be more than 8 ounces just because it is packed. I don't know. I've never actually weighed packed brown sugar.
For those of you watching at home, remember, you should learn how to do this so you're not eating ramen.
That would be my roommate, Matt, ladies and gentlemen. He's single, ladies. So once you get all your brown sugar in, I'm still short a little bit, so that's nothing new, though. I'm 5'2". I'm always short. I think this might do it. I don't know. We're going to find out. We are at a cup, folks. All right. You're going to add your cup in. Next is half a cup of table sugar or white sugar or whatever. You can use raw sugar if you want, or you can use unbleached sugar. I have the bleached variety because that's just what I bought because I didn't think first. This calls for, side is unreadable, there it is, half a cup. I'm going to use a spoon to do this because I don't have something that'll actually fit in the mouth of this container. That is my fault because I did not think before buying it what I would necessarily be doing with it. So, something to be said for that, folks. Think ahead. It comes in handy, no matter what they tell you. Almost. I think one more tablespoon ought to do it. There it is. All right. All right, now that you've added your sugar and brown sugar, I'm just going to move these out of the way. We are going to add the shortening, and I need 3/4 of a cup. I use Crisco. I like Crisco. I think it's a good brand. If you cook like your own bacon, do stuff like that, you probably have shortening. This actually calls for vegetable shortening, but I don't have vegetable shortening. And I've used butter flavored Crisco before, and it tasted fine to me. So that would be the oven going off. We're gonna just kind of do this in here. Some people use actual butter when they do this. Some people use shortening. I guess it all depends on just kind of where you're from as to what you'll use. Obviously, you can make this vegan if you want. I am not good at vegan recipes because I have a lot of food allergies. So I can't use a lot of the vegan ingredients. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Just move that out of the way for now. All right, I need just a little bit more shortening to reach 3/4 cup. And I'm using the back of the spoon to do this. You'll find that if you use the back of the spoon, it is easier, just because you're not having to dip your finger into the spoon to get the shortening out of it. And forgive me, folks, this is my first time being on camera and cooking. I am incredibly camera shy, so if I don't make eye contact very often, I apologize sincerely. All right, we are at 3/4 of a cup. So we're going to add that in now. And remember, I've already added the majority of my wet ingredients. All right, that's first glob in. There's second glob. All right. I'm just going to smush that against the side right now. Eventually, you will get a rubber spatula to scrape the sides. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to add the 1/4 cup of water. I don't know where I'm going. I have a friend right here for a reason, folks. Okay, well, I guess this just means I'm out of volume. 1/4 cup of water. I'm done with these. So we're going to put these. Actually, I'm not done with these. My bad. God, I am so nervous right now. I need a teaspoon of vanilla. Oh, this bourbon vanilla smells amazing, which you can get it on Amazon if you live in Kentucky. I got this at the Old Martin Distillery. My family lives in Kentucky. I don't, so I have to get this off of Amazon when I'm not there because as you can see, I'm almost out. I use this a lot. Anything that requires vanilla, I use this. There is legit bourbon in this. It's like 36% alcohol. Please don't drink this straight. Please, for the love of God, don't do that. I would, but not. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Honest to God, please don't. Don't take me seriously. All right, let me go ahead and get my rubber spatula out. because I'm going to need it. And we're just going to go ahead and scrape some of this shortening off the side. Now, this says to beat it all together until it is creamy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the lowest setting to do this because we have other stuff we got to do. So I've got a KitchenAid mixer to do the work for me. If you don't have one, you'll have to do this with like a hand mixer or by hand. In which case, God, I feel so sorry for you. Not that I haven't done it before, because I have. It's just a pain in the butt. All right. I've got an old kitchen mixer, which is why I'm not showing it in the feed. We're just going to pop that on. Stir for now, because with the whisk attachment, it actually works just fine. As you can hear, it is an old machine. It's probably a couple of decades old at this point. All right, next thing we're going to do, you're going to need a bowl to mix the rest of your ingredients in. All right. Now we need the oats, the flour, the salt, and the soda. So I'm going to grab a paper towel, clean out my measuring spoon and the measuring cup, because I am going to need it again to make this smell really good. All right. That just kind of scrape on the spatula. Alright, we actually need to scrape the side down real quick. So I'm going to just drop my bowl. I'm going to switch this off for a moment. And I'm going to scrape down the sides a pinch. This is enough. Sorry, my roommate is watching Family Guy and I can hear it. We're going to just turn that up a little bit. That's right there, just out of the way. We are done with the shortening, so you can put that out of your way for now. Obviously, we're done with the second controversy. Don't need. I don't think I need a spoon anymore. So we're just gonna wipe this off, and we'll reuse it because that seems like the smart thing to do, folks. Now, the beautiful thing about shortening is it actually wipes down pretty well, and you can use it for a lot of things. So just bear that in mind when you go to do this. Now, I will say shortening and water don't really mix very well. As you saw earlier, the water did not take any off. So, when you go to do this, just keep that in mind. But that's fine, because if we have to use the spatula, we can. It is not that big a deal. All right, first things first, we're going to do the oats, because we need 3 cups. Now, this is a 2-cup measuring cup, so I have a 4-cup one. I'm not using it. Now, I've got old-fashioned oats. This says to use, it doesn't actually say what kind of oats to use, so, you can go rolled or whatever you please. I like old-fashioned oats. I think they have just a nicer texture to them. All right, let's even this out a little bit. And so you could weigh this, and if you weigh it, 2 cups is 16 ounces. So 2 cups. And then now we just need 1 cup, or 8 ounces. Ooh, I think I might have overdone that a pinch. No, right on the money. Here you go, folks. How often does that actually happen? Never. Alright, we're going to need to speed up our mixer here in a second. If you've got an old one like I do, it can get a little loud. So, just bear one in there. Alright, so I bumped that up to 10 for just a few seconds, just to kind of speed up the process. A pinch. Not a lot, just a pinch. So now we're going to use flour. And the reason why I put the oats in first is just so you can actually get a sense of how much you're using. We need a cup of flour. Again, my measuring cup doesn't fit into things, so I can't just dunk it in and scoop it out. I wish I could, though. That would certainly make my life easier on many fronts. Many fronts. And I suppose if you've got the patience, you could actually bother to use measuring spoons to do this. And then get a feel for just how much is in. I am not, however. I don't have the patience. I don't. That's not who I am. It's not. It's really not. Pick that up and do this. Alright. That's a cup. And again, this is something that we'll need our spatula for, because I did the shortening way before I did the flour. My roommate just inspected the cream mixture. He likes the way it smells, so. You go, folks. Way to a man's heart is through his stomach. He's single. Alright, we're just gonna turn that off for now. Right, oats, flour. So now we're gonna do our salt. We need 1 teaspoon of salt. Well, folks, I'm gonna tell you this now. If you ever spill salt, get in your hand, throw it over your left shoulder. So, there we go. Left shoulder. Doesn't fit. So, doesn't fit, that's fine. Because you know what? A half teaspoon does. And 2 scoops of that equals 1. So, there's 1. There's 2. So now I have a full teaspoon in there. There we go, folks. If you can't beat it, join it. Rule 1. And 2, and 3, and 4. Alright, we are done with our flour. We're going to get that out of the way. We're done with our oats. We're going to get that out of the way as well. Alright, now I will be using the spoon to stir my dry mixture just because that's who I am. Baking soda's gotten pinched up. I have 2 things of baking soda, 1 for the fridge and 1 for cooking purposes. Baking soda is a good deodorizer for your fridge. Alright. That's it. That's all of our ingredients. That's everything we've got to add. So, we're just going to put all that stuff out the way. From there, like I said, I'm just going to use my spoon and I'm just going to stir this all together. Now, on a normal day, I would use my mixer to mix the wet ingredients into this. But I don't feel like that today. I actually feel like giving myself a minor workout. So we're going to pour our wet ingredients into this and then do that. So we're going to drop that down. And we're just going to get the batter off the whisk real quick. There we go. So I'm just going to use the spatula to get the last of my ingredients off. Ladies and gentlemen, got blonde in the house. Alright, we're going to put that in the fridge. Sink. Alright, I'm just going to kind of give this preliminary mix because it's not a bad idea. It's really not. Tastes good though. I feel like the bourbon and vanilla really does make a difference when you're baking. I think it adds just good flavor. So we're going to add our cream mixture. And now since I am using a spoon with this as well, I can use the spoon to scrape the spatula and then use the spatula to scrape the spoon. Alright, so we've done that. Hang on to your spoon. You are gonna need it. You are gonna need it again. That I can promise. So I'm gonna fold the oats in. Believe it or not, it works surprisingly well when you do that. Now the reason why I'm doing it this way versus using my mixer to do this is because the flour gets everywhere. And that's just not a mess I feel like cleaning up. And you're just going to keep mixing until there is no more flour left, which might take a bit because I decided to use a rubber spatula for this. So, yeah, that's my fault. That's my fault completely. I know better, and I still decided to try and do things a new way because that's just who I am. So this is what I mean by you're going to need your spoon. Because now I've got oatmeal batter all over my spatula. I'm just going to scrape that off. Scrape it onto the bowl. And I'm actually going to set the spatula aside right now and use the metal spoon to blend this a little better because surprisingly that's working better. Go figure. I wasn't joking when I said this is going to give you a workout. Oatmeal cookies are a much, much thicker cookie batter than like sugar cookie or chocolate chip or snickerdoodle. All right. We've got this about as mixed up as she's going to get. What we're going to do now, take our spatula again. Just kind of scrape the bits off. Da, 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 da. All right. Now, this says to drop by the teaspoonful. My mom's not joking. These cookies are really good. If you do it by the teaspoonful, you have more cookies. And they bake better. So we're going to get rid of my tablespoon. We're going to grab some teaspoons. Now, I suggest using 2 teaspoons that are roughly the same size and shape. Believe it or not, makes a difference. That's close. You can do like what my mom does, dip them in flour and then do it. I don't. Not something that I do. We're going to get our mixing bowl out of the way because I don't need any more. We're going to take our spatula and just set it aside. Alright. And I'm going to need it again. Don't ask about the painter straw, please. Just don't. Alright. Make a little room on your workstation. You're going to need some baking pans. So I'm going to set the bowl here. I'm going to take my cookbook and just prop it up against my KitchenAid. And I'm going to get my cookie sheets now. Now, if you thought ahead, you'll have some baking racks like these. These are useful in the fact that they are used for cooling. They do come in useful, I promise. They're worth the $5. So these cookie sheets are old, so they're kind of rough looking. I don't own new cookie sheets. Sorry, not something that I do. I'm actually going to use my KitchenAid to prop that up. I'm not entirely sure how many cookies this is going to make, so I'm just going to kind of guess here. And I will say I'm going to put some full parchment down because, unfortunately, because these pans are old, it doesn't matter how many times I scrub them, they are just bleh. And I do mean that. It doesn't matter. They're just nasty now. They're old. They've been used a lot. Let's see. I have wax paper and I have full. So I guess we're just going to do full. Which one of these are that one is? And believe it or not, full actually does come in handy when you're baking. So, do with that what you will. It also makes it easier to clean up. So, personally, I would say parchment paper. Parchment paper is your better friend with this. And just for the record, going through and getting to this stage has taken a total of about 29 and a half minutes. So just keep that in mind. So So that's about a teaspoon. I'm actually going to kind of mold these with my hands a little bit because my hands are clean. So I feel like, if your hands are clean, why not? All right. So if you're doing it this way, I'm going to warn you now, your hands are going to be a little sticky. I suppose I could have put some flour on my hands, but that would have made these cookies a little more dry, and you don't want that. I will tell you, these cookies, because they're my mom's recipe, my mom would make these whenever my dad would get deployed to like Iraq and Afghanistan or Cuba. Really anywhere. My dad was gone for a month. My mom made these cookies at least once. Well, according to my dad, he would not share these with anyone. These were his cookies. My mom would send a care package, and in that care package would be several cookies, which I will actually be covering some of those other recipes at some point. But my dad would hide these, and they would be just for him. At some point, I will be doing peanut butter cookies, and that was my uncle's favorite. He was Navy, is, and well, there's something to be said about that. The peanut butter cookies were his favorite, and he wouldn't share those. So, yeah, got a little too much oatmeal, so there we go. That's better. Try and keep these roughly the same size. We're just gonna start using my hand because that's just easier. You can measure it better that way. At a certain point, you get good enough at eyeballing these things that you don't really need spoons. A little too much. All right, so right now it's looking like I can fit 12 cookies. It's looking like. Yep, 12 cookies. It's gonna be 12 cookies, folks. And once you've gotten to this point, once you've got all your cookies just kind of like doled out, measured out, and stuff like that, they're going to bake for 12 to 15 minutes. Do keep an eye on them, and that 12 to 15 minutes is according to size. I do believe the size that I'm doing, which is about a teaspoon, is 12 minutes. So, all right, I've got the first set on here. I'm actually going to wash my hands off real quick because I don't want to touch the pan with cookie on my hands. And we're just going to use a paper towel to dry my hands. I don't have a kitchen towel right now. I didn't think to grab one before I started. That's my fault, folks. That's purely my fault. All right, so your first pan is done. Right now, I only have room in my oven for one pan because I have a pizza stone in there. So I'm just going to be baking one pan at a time. So as this pan bakes, I'm going to fix up the next one. And maybe I only use 2 pans. Either way, I got full. So. All right, we got the first set in the oven. I'm gonna use my phone as a timer because I don't have a standard kitchen timer. I've never bought one. I should. I haven't. Timer. I'm gonna set mine for 12 minutes and then I can adjust as necessary. The minimum cook time is 12 minutes, folks. So there are gonna be some recipes that I do that are non-baked. So, that's fine with that. I'll have to dip my hands in flour again. Yeah, I decided to. I don't feel like washing my hands that much. I'm not sure if y'all can hear Family Guy in the background, so if you can, there you go, enjoy it. If you see my facial expressions, it's because I'm responding to the show, so I'm just going to say that now. I like Family Guy. I think it's a funny show. My roommate's watching it. Run downhill from the cop in a wheelchair. That's brilliant. Excellent comedic timing there, folks. In all seriousness, I enjoy something fun. His music, his movies, his shows, they're all good. I haven't decided if I'm going to be having music play in the background. If I do, I might actually go with Seth MacFarlane. Some of the jokes do go over my head, I will admit. I grew up in the Bible Belt. Say what you will. It's just, that was life. I was an Army kid growing up. A good portion of my life was spent stationed in the Bible Belt. That's where I'm originally from. I know right now you can't hear an accent because I am so nervous that I'm just like, I don't like being on camera. I never have. This is actually like the first time that I've volunteered. Second time I've volunteered to go on camera. The first time, actually, I did one of those mask peel-off videos that I posted to YouTube. Has only gotten any views, which is fine. It doesn't need to. We can just... Alright. I still have flour on my hands, so I'm not going to touch my phone. That would be bad. That would be bad, folks. Don't touch your phone while there's flour or cake, cookie, anything, food on your hands. All right, so we have the next batch of cookies ready to go. Okay, so second batch is ready. We've got to wait for those to come out of the oven before we can do anything. So I'm going to use this to just kind of get some of the batter off my hands so I can check the times on my phone. Y'all will know when the timer goes off. I have music set. I don't know what song I have set though. That'll be something that I have to look at. I think I have Maroon 5 because I'm basic. I do have Maroon 5. I like Maroon 5. Also Paulo and Dead, Michael Moore, and right, so we still have about 5.5 minutes. No, I'm sorry. That is wrong. We have just under 6 minutes. So I'm gonna grab a drink out of my fridge. I know it's a Pepsi. I like Pepsi and Coke. I have no brand loyalty when it comes to sodas except for certain things. Like Dr. Pepper is good. There's no substitute for Dr. Pepper. Mountain Dew is good. There's no substitute for Mountain Dew. Faygo is my favorite. I'm a foreign when asked. Yes, I used to listen to Insane Clown Posse. I actually still like some of their music, and I'm still pretty supportive of the band. I'm not a juggalette, so don't ask. Just plain and simple. So I'm actually going to set this cookie tin aside, and I think I'll just go ahead and prepare the next couple batches, because I don't see why not. We're going to check on our cookies. Oh, they're looking beautiful, folks. They're looking absolutely beautiful. And if anyone's wondering, yes, I am a Jim Carrey fan. On occasion, he would really quote some of his lines. My house is starting to smell like oatmeal cookies, so when my boyfriend gets home, he's probably going to be really happy because he loves it when I bake. He used to. I don't know when the last time he baked was, though. He doesn't help me in the kitchen with this, so it's not that big a deal to me. Alright, I'm getting tired of using my hands.